On June 2, 2026, Jupiter moves into Cancer, where it will remain until October 31, 2026. In Vedic astrology, this is considered one of the most important planetary shifts of the year because Jupiter becomes exalted in Cancer, meaning the planet operates at its highest strength and expresses its qualities in a more constructive, nurturing, and protective way. Jupiter represents wisdom, expansion, higher learning, optimism, abundance, spirituality, children, marriage, and the guidance that helps us grow beyond our limitations. Wherever Jupiter transits, it tends to expand the themes of that house and sign, bringing opportunities for growth, learning, and long-term development. Cancer is a deeply emotional and nurturing sign connected to home, family, belonging, care, emotional security, and inner nourishment. When Jupiter enters Cancer, collective attention naturally shifts toward emotional well-being, family life, education, spirituality, and creating stronger foundations for the future. In many cases, this transit increases the desire for stability, emotional connection, and meaningful support systems. Educational environments, family-oriented businesses, healing professions, spiritual communities, and emotionally intelligent leadership often receive stronger attention during this period. Even though exalted Jupiter is highly beneficial, it should not be treated as universally perfect or effortless. Results will still depend heavily on individual birth charts, dasha periods, natal Jupiter condition, and the houses Jupiter rules for each ascendant. Exalted planets amplify results powerfully, but they also amplify the responsibilities and karmas connected to the houses they govern. For some people, this transit may bring opportunity and expansion very visibly, while for others it may bring inner growth, emotional healing, increased responsibilities, or important life corrections that become beneficial over time. This transit also becomes more layered because of the planetary activity happening around Jupiter during these 5 months. Venus joins Jupiter in Cancer from June 8 to July 4, increasing themes of relationships, beauty, comfort, emotional warmth, creativity, and financial flow. Mercury enters Cancer around June 22, bringing focus toward communication, planning, learning, and emotional discussions, although its retrograde phases may temporarily slow or revise some decisions. From July 16 to August 17, the Sun joins Jupiter, bringing stronger visibility, leadership themes, authority matters, and increased confidence. From September 18 onward, Mars enters Cancer and joins Jupiter during the final phase of the transit. Since Mars is debilitated in Cancer, this period requires more emotional control, patience, and careful handling of conflicts or impulsive reactions. There are also a few important technical notes regarding timing. In this transit, Jupiter may briefly attain Vargothama status, which can strengthen its influence further. Vargothama means the planet occupies the same sign in both the Rashi and Navamsa charts. Jupiter also comes under combustion influence during late July and early August when it moves very close to the Sun. In traditional Vedic astrology, combustion periods are generally considered less ideal for major auspicious ceremonies such as weddings, housewarmings, or large business launches. The Vargothama period overlaps almost entirely with the combustion window of July to August. So during the same period when Jupiter gains additional strength through Vargothama, its visible external expression may become somewhat restrained due to combustion with the Sun. The transit itself remains active and beneficial, but the clearest and most supportive windows are likely to be early June, the first half of July, and then again after the combustion period fades into September and October. Another major influence throughout this transit is Saturn's position in Pisces. Saturn remains in Pisces and turns retrograde on July 27, 2026. From Cancer, Jupiter casts its powerful ninth aspect onto Pisces, creating an important interaction between Jupiter's wisdom and Saturn's discipline. This combination tends to reward patient effort, maturity, spiritual growth, and long-term planning. Areas of life where people have been working consistently, sacrificing, or building slowly may finally begin showing more visible progress during this period. Jupiter will also move through 3 nakshatras during its stay in Cancer: Punarvasu, Pushya, and Ashlesha, and each phase slightly changes the tone of the transit. Punarvasu emphasizes renewal, healing, and restoration. Pushya strengthens discipline, learning, responsibility, and spiritual growth. Ashlesha brings a more psychological and emotionally intense layer, increasing themes connected to transformation, emotional depth, hidden motivations, and internal change. Because of this, the experience of the transit may feel different at different stages between June and October. At its core, Jupiter in Cancer from June to October 2026 is an invitation to grow through emotional wisdom, strengthen your foundations, and build something more meaningful and lasting in your life. Some opportunities may appear externally through career, finances, relationships, or education, while others may unfold internally through healing, maturity, and a deeper understanding of your purpose. The key during this transit is to remain emotionally balanced, grounded, and open to growth while using Jupiter's expansive energy with wisdom rather than excess. Jupiter is the planet of knowledge and wisdom. Wherever it transits, by house or over any planet, it brings awareness and understanding related to that area. For example, if Jupiter transits over the Moon, it can deepen your emotional intelligence and inner peace. Over Venus, it may bring insights into relationships and creativity. In the 10th house, it can give you clarity about career and life direction. Wherever Jupiter goes, it brings growth in knowledge and wisdom. To accurately assess the impact of these transits, it is crucial to consider your ascendant and moon signs. The ascendant sign offers insights into the timing of life events, while the moon sign reveals how you will emotionally respond to these changes. Take into account the position of your current Mahadasha Lord in your birth chart, as it can shed light on how these transits will influence the recurring themes of your current Dasha period. This transit may manifest differently for each individual, and how they navigate this transit will depend on their personal charts. A more precise understanding of the impact of this transit can be gained by examining Jupiter's Ashtaka score in Cancer. Keep in mind that the effects of this transit are contingent on Jupiter's interaction with the planets in individual birth charts. It's also worth noting that individuals currently experiencing the influence of Jupiter Dasha or Jupiter return may feel the effects of this transit more intensely. To understand how this transit may affect you based on your zodiac sign and the houses it transits, let's delve into those specifics. For Aries, Jupiter is the ruler of the 9th house and the 12th house. The 9th house is all about your higher learning, your belief systems, long-distance travel, your father, your teachers, and your philosophical understanding of life. The 12th house covers spirituality, losses, foreign lands, hidden matters, and expenses. So Jupiter for Aries is essentially a planet of wisdom, travel, spirituality, and expansion beyond the ordinary. When this planet moves into Cancer from June 2026 onwards, it lands in your 4th house. The 4th house is your home. It is your mother. It is your emotional foundation, your sense of peace, your real estate, your homeland, and the roots that ground you. And when exalted Jupiter starts expanding everything it touches in the 4th house, you are going to feel this very strongly in your home life, your property matters, and your relationship with your mother. Jupiter in the 4th house is one of the stronger combinations for acquiring property. Whether you are looking at buying a home, investing in land, expanding the property you already own, or renovating and upgrading your living space, this transit is going to push things in a very favorable direction. The combination of Jupiter being exalted and landing in the natural house of property makes this an almost ideal time to take decisions related to real estate. If you have been sitting on a property decision for a while, this is the window where things can actually move forward. Now, the mother connection here is very important and often underestimated. Your relationship with your mother is going to come into sharp focus during this entire transit. For some of you, your mother is going to become a source of genuine wisdom and guidance. She might take the role of a counselor in your life. She may offer advice that actually shapes important decisions you make between June and October 2026. If your relationship with your mother has been distant or strained, this is a transit that can soften those edges and bring some warmth back. On the emotional side, the 4th house is also about your inner peace and your state of mind. Jupiter landing here in exaltation means you are going to feel more settled, more optimistic, and more emotionally secure than you have in a while. There is going to be a natural shift where you want to spend more time at home, more time with family, and less time chasing external distractions. For Aries, which is a very action-oriented and outward-moving sign, this is actually a beautiful counterbalance. The 4th house is asking you to slow down and invest in your roots. Since Jupiter rules your 9th house, which is the house of higher education, you will notice that education, spirituality, and religious activities start happening more at home during this transit. You might begin studying something from home. You might set up a small prayer space or meditation corner. Spiritual teachers or religious activities might come into your home environment. The home itself can become a place of learning and spiritual nourishment. Jupiter in Cancer will also aspect 3 very significant signs from this position. Its 5th aspect falls on Scorpio, which is your 8th house. Its 7th aspect falls on Capricorn, which is your 10th house. And its 9th aspect falls on Pisces, which is your 12th house. That 9th aspect on Pisces is particularly interesting because Saturn is already sitting in Pisces throughout this period. Jupiter's exalted gaze on Saturn in Pisces is actually a very constructive combination. It can bring discipline and structure to your spiritual pursuits. Any work you do in isolation, in foreign lands, or through spiritual practice during this time gets Jupiter's blessing from a distance. The aspect on your 10th house, which is your career house, also means that even though Jupiter is focused on your home and emotional life, your career is still receiving its attention. Do not be surprised if a home-based career or business opportunity comes your way during this period. Jupiter ruling the 9th house and sitting in the 4th, aspecting the 10th, creates a beautiful picture of someone who can build a knowledge-based business from home. Teaching, coaching, consulting, or any form of educational content creation done from home is particularly favored. Jupiter's transit in Cancer becomes even more significant because of the planets joining it throughout this period. From June 8th to July 4th, Venus joins Jupiter in your 4th house, creating a highly favorable period for home comforts, beautifying your living space, family harmony, and emotional warmth. Celebrations, family gatherings, engagements, or relationship milestones connected to home and family are strongly supported during this time. Mercury enters Cancer around June 22nd before retrograding back into Gemini and later returning. While Mercury is with Jupiter, your focus turns toward home-related planning, property decisions, family communication, and financial discussions connected to real estate. This is an excellent time to research, gather information, and consult professionals before making major decisions. From July 16th to August 17th, the Sun joins Jupiter in Cancer, bringing strong focus to home, family, and mother-related matters. Important family conversations or decisions may take place during this period. Mars enters Cancer on September 18th and joins Jupiter for the rest of the transit. This combination brings action and momentum to property matters, renovations, and family responsibilities. Mars in Cancer operates in debilitation, so emotional impulsiveness and reactive behavior should be managed carefully. Use this energy constructively to improve your home life while avoiding unnecessary family conflicts. Overall, for Aries individuals, this is one of the more emotionally fulfilling transits you have had in a long time. The focus on home, mother, real estate, and inner peace is something Jupiter is fully equipped to expand in a very positive way. Use this time to invest in your roots, make that property move you have been contemplating, strengthen your bond with your mother, and bring some form of knowledge or spiritual practice into your home life. The universe is essentially setting your home up as your sanctuary during this period, and the wisest thing you can do is embrace that rather than resist it. For Taurus, Jupiter's transit through Cancer from June 2026 activates your 3rd house of communication, business, skills, courage, travel, younger siblings, and daily effort. Jupiter rules your 8th house and 11th house, linking transformation, research, shared resources, gains, ambitions, and networks with your communication and personal initiative. When exalted Jupiter enters your 3rd house, it strongly expands your ability to grow through skills, communication, networking, and consistent action. This is a highly productive transit where the effort you put into your work and ideas can directly translate into financial and personal growth. The 3rd house covers communication, business, your immediate travels, your skills, your courage and willpower, your relationship with younger siblings, and your day-to-day efforts and actions. This is the house of hustle in many ways. It is about putting yourself out there, making calls, writing content, meeting people, and building things through consistent effort. So what happens when Jupiter, the planet of expansion and wisdom, sits in exaltation in your 3rd house for several months? It expands everything the 3rd house represents. And for Taurus, since Jupiter also rules your 11th house of gains, this creates a direct link between your daily efforts, your communication, and your ability to earn. In simple terms, the more you put out during this period, the more you will receive back. Jupiter exalted in the 3rd house is a strong signal for someone who is building a business through their own skills and communication. If you have been thinking about starting a consulting practice, a coaching business, a teaching venture, or any kind of knowledge-sharing platform, this is an exceptionally favorable window. Jupiter ruling the 8th house also suggests that this business might involve research, depth of knowledge, or areas that others find complex. You could be the person who makes complicated subjects accessible to others. The skill development angle here is also very strong. You are going to be naturally drawn toward learning new skills during this transit. And what is interesting is that these are not just random interests. The skills you pick up during this period are going to serve a very practical purpose in your income generation. Think about upgrading your communication skills, getting certified in something you already do, or mastering a new tool or technology that enhances your work. Jupiter in exaltation does not let you waste time, especially in the 3rd house, which is action-oriented. Travel is another 3rd house theme that gets activated here. You are going to be moving around more than usual. These are typically shorter travels, trips within the region or country, but they are purposeful. Many of these trips will be for business, for learning, or for networking. Some may have a religious or spiritual purpose too, since Jupiter always brings a philosophical dimension. Do not underestimate the value of these short trips. Some of the most important connections and opportunities of this entire transit may come from being in a certain place at a certain time. The younger sibling relationship is worth mentioning here. If you have a younger sibling, your bond with them can genuinely deepen during this period. There might be mutual support, shared projects, or collaboration that benefits both of you. If a younger sibling is going through a difficult time, you may find yourself in the natural role of guide or counselor to them. Jupiter in the 3rd house makes you someone whose words carry real weight and wisdom. One of the most important effects of exalted Jupiter in the 3rd house is the increase in courage and confidence. Taurus individuals are often cautious and prefer stability, but this transit encourages you to take calculated risks and act more boldly. You may become more willing to promote yourself, pursue opportunities, or step outside your comfort zone. This added confidence is one of the greatest gifts of the transit and can help you make meaningful progress. Since Jupiter also rules your 8th house, there's an undercurrent of other people's resources or shared finances coming into play through your 3rd house efforts. You might find that investors or collaborators approach you. You might receive commissions, referral income, or gains from business partnerships that are built through your network and communication. The 8th house also represents research and depth, so if your business or work involves investigative writing, deep research, financial content, or occult and hidden knowledge, you are especially well positioned. Looking at Jupiter's aspects from Cancer, the 5th aspect falls on Scorpio, which is your 7th house. This means Jupiter is casting its wisdom-oriented gaze on your house of marriage and partnerships. Business partners and life partners both receive some positive energy. Relationships are not the central story of this transit for you, but they are not neglected either. Existing partnerships may become more aligned and productive. A new business partnership formed during this time could be genuinely beneficial. The 7th aspect falls on Capricorn, your 9th house of higher learning, long-distance travel, and father. There may be longer travels connected to knowledge or spiritual pursuits. Your relationship with your father or a mentor figure also receives some attention. The 9th aspect falls on Pisces and your 11th house, where Saturn is transiting. Jupiter aspecting your 11th house of gains while also ruling it is a particularly strong indicator that your income and network expand during this period, though Saturn's presence there means the gains come through genuine hard work and patience rather than shortcuts. Venus joins Jupiter in Cancer from June 8th to July 4th, lighting up your 3rd house with charm and social ease. This is a wonderful window for any creative work, for marketing yourself or your business, and for strengthening relationships with people in your immediate environment. People will find you more approachable and persuasive during this time. When Mars enters Cancer in September 18th, it brings fire into your 3rd house alongside Jupiter. This is the most action-oriented period of the transit for you. Decisions get made, projects launch, conflicts with siblings or neighbors may arise and need resolution, and your courage hits its peak. Channel it into productive effort, and you will end the transit on a high note. Mars in Cancer operates in debilitation, so emotional impulsiveness and reactive behavior should be managed carefully. The overall message for Taurus during this Jupiter in Cancer period is: communicate, skill up, take action, and let your knowledge become your business. The universe is supporting your hustle right now in a very direct way. For Gemini, Jupiter's transit through Cancer from June 2026 activates your 2nd house of wealth, savings, family, speech, values, and financial stability. Jupiter rules your 7th house of partnerships and your 10th house of career, making it one of the most important planets for your professional life, business relationships, and public success. When exalted Jupiter moves into your 2nd house, it directly connects career and partnerships with income, family growth, and long-term financial security. This becomes one of the most favorable wealth-building periods for Gemini individuals. The 2nd house is wealth. It is savings. It is family lineage. It is the food you eat, the values you carry, the speech you use, and the immediate family you were born into. When exalted Jupiter expands everything in this house over several months, the most practical outcome is financial growth. And not just small improvements. Jupiter in the 2nd house tends to bring genuine accumulation and expansion of wealth, especially when the planet is in a dignified state as it is here. Since Jupiter rules your 10th house of career and is now influencing your 2nd house of income, the connection between your professional work and your financial gains becomes very direct and strong. Your career activities are going to translate more efficiently into actual money during this period. If you have been doing good work and feeling like the financial rewards have not matched your efforts, this transit can start to balance that equation. Pay rises, promotions, better client contracts, and higher value projects are all within the scope of what this Jupiter placement can deliver. Since Jupiter also rules your 7th house of partnerships and business relationships, another major channel of financial gain comes through your business associations and collaborations. A business partner might bring in a deal that substantially improves your income. A life partner's income or financial contribution might also increase during this period, helping the overall household financial picture. This is also a favorable time to formalize business partnerships that have been in discussion for a while. The family angle of the 2nd house is equally significant. Jupiter expanding your 2nd house can mean an expansion of the family itself. This could mean a birth in the family, a marriage that adds members to the family, or simply a deepening of bonds with existing family members. There might be family gatherings or collective family decisions about money or property that happen during this transit. Gains from family lineage or family-connected businesses are also possible. Your speech and communication style, which are also 2nd house matters, get a significant boost from Jupiter here. You are going to be more articulate, more persuasive, and more authoritative in the way you express yourself. People will listen to what you say with more weight and respect. This is excellent if you are in any kind of communication-heavy profession, whether that is teaching, sales, management, media, or counseling. Your words can genuinely open doors during this period. The educational dimension that Jupiter always brings manifests here through learning that is practically connected to wealth. You might invest in a course, certification, or learning program that directly improves your earning potential. You might also find that your existing knowledge in a particular field becomes more valuable and sought after. Teaching or sharing your expertise can become a source of income in itself. Jupiter's aspects from Cancer are worth examining closely for Gemini. The 5th aspect falls on Scorpio, which is your 6th house. Jupiter casting its gaze on your 6th house means you are also paying attention to your daily health routines, your work efficiency, and managing any outstanding debts or loans. The aspect here is generally positive and suggests that Jupiter's wisdom can help you deal with 6th house obstacles in a measured way. Just do not become so focused on wealth accumulation that you neglect your health and well-being. The 7th aspect falls on Capricorn, which is your 8th house. This is interesting because your 8th house is the house of sudden changes, hidden income, and transformations. Jupiter aspecting this house suggests that some unexpected financial gains or opportunities may come your way. There might be a windfall, an inheritance, or a sudden business opportunity that appears from an unexpected direction. The 9th aspect falls on Pisces, your 10th house of career, where Saturn is sitting. Jupiter aspecting your career house with its 9th and most expansive aspect, while Saturn provides structure, is a very favorable combination for serious career advancement. This is the kind of combination where hard work that has been invested over a long period finally starts to yield visible results in career status and recognition. Venus joins Jupiter in Cancer from June 8th to July 4th, making this an especially favorable period for finances, family harmony, and comfort. This is an excellent time for financial negotiations, purchases related to home or luxury, and strengthening family relationships. Creative or artistic work with commercial value can also thrive during this period. Mercury enters Cancer around June 22nd and later retrogrades before returning again. Mercury joining Jupiter strengthens financial planning, contracts, negotiations, and income through writing, communication, or intellectual work. Some financial decisions may require revision during Mercury retrograde, but this ultimately helps you make more informed and practical choices. From July 16th to August 17th, the Sun joins Jupiter in Cancer, bringing confidence, visibility, and authority to financial and family matters. This period may bring recognition related to your financial standing or family background. Career discussions connected to money also become more important during this time. Mars enters Cancer on September 18th, joining Jupiter in your second house and bringing strong action-oriented energy into finances. This can lead to decisive financial moves, investment decisions, or increased spending. Mars can accelerate financial growth when used wisely, but it also increases impulsiveness. Careful budgeting and thoughtful decision-making become important during this period. Mars in Cancer operates in debilitation, so emotional impulsiveness and reactive behavior should be managed carefully. For Gemini, the bottom line of this transit is financial expansion and family strengthening. Your career and relationships are feeding your bank account and your household in very tangible ways during this period. Take the opportunities that come to save, invest, and grow your financial foundation. This is genuinely one of the better windows for wealth building that this transit has to offer for your sign. For Cancer, Jupiter coming to Cancer from June 2026 is landing directly in your first house, your very sense of self. This is one of the personally significant transits you can experience. When the most benefic planet in its highest dignity lands in your own sign in your own house, the energy is pointing squarely at you, your life direction, your physical body, your identity, and the path you are walking in life. Jupiter rules the 6th house and the 9th house for Cancer. The 6th house covers daily routines, service, health matters, debts, and obstacles. The 9th house covers higher wisdom, long-distance travel, your father, your belief systems, and your connection to spiritual or philosophical frameworks. So Jupiter for Cancer is a planet that ties together service, daily discipline, and higher wisdom. It is not a purely comfortable planet for you because the 6th house rulership creates some tension, but when Jupiter is as strong as it is in exaltation in your own sign, the net result is overwhelmingly positive. The most immediate thing you are going to notice is a shift in your sense of optimism and your connection to your own purpose. Jupiter in the first house is like someone switching on the light in a room that has been dimly lit. Suddenly you can see clearly again. You feel more hopeful about where your life is going. Questions about your identity, your career direction, your relationships, and your overall purpose start finding answers rather than staying as unresolved tension. This clarity is one of the greatest gifts of this transit. Physically, Jupiter in the first house does expand your sense of presence and energy, but it also expands the body itself. Weight gain around the belly and hips is a common physical manifestation of Jupiter in the first house, so staying mindful of diet and exercise during this period is genuinely important. Do not let the overall positive energy of this transit lead to complacency around your physical health. Since Jupiter rules your 6th house and is now sitting in your first house, there is what astrologers call a connection between the house of obstacles and the house of self. This means some health matters or conflicts that have been lurking in the background may come to the surface during this transit. The good news is that they surface so they can be resolved, not to overwhelm you. Jupiter's exalted state means you have both the optimism and the resources to address these issues. Do not ignore any health signals during this period. Attend to them promptly, and you will be fine. The 9th house rulership of Jupiter connecting to your first house means that this transit can genuinely change your life philosophy and direction. You might encounter teachings, a teacher, or a belief system during this period that fundamentally shifts how you see yourself and the world. Many Cancer individuals will experience the arrival of a genuine guru or mentor figure during this transit. This person might not look like a traditional spiritual teacher. They might be a counselor, a senior in your field, or simply someone whose wisdom changes your thinking at a deep level. Long-distance travel is also indicated during this period, and much of it will be purposeful rather than just recreational. You might travel for education, for a spiritual practice, for a significant life event, or for work that has higher meaning attached to it. Each trip you take during this transit has the potential to expand your worldview and bring some experience that feeds back into your personal growth. Relationship matters get a clear nod from Jupiter's 5th aspect falling on Scorpio, your 5th house of romance and creativity. If you have been in a period of romantic drought or creative stagnation, Jupiter's expansive gaze on your 5th house is going to shake things loose in a positive way. Romance can blossom during this period. Creative projects that you have been putting off suddenly feel exciting and possible. For those who want children, the 5th house also represents children, and this is one of the planetary setups that can support that desire. Jupiter's 7th aspect from Cancer falls on Capricorn, which is your 7th house of marriage and partnerships. This is a very direct aspecting of your house of commitment and partnerships by exalted Jupiter. New relationships can form during this period with genuine long-term potential. Existing relationships can deepen and stabilize. Business partnerships can become more profitable and aligned. Overall, this is a very favorable time for any kind of significant one-on-one commitment. The 9th aspect falls on Pisces, your 9th house, where Saturn is already sitting. Jupiter aspecting its own sign of Pisces and its own 9th house while in exaltation is a tremendously powerful combination for your higher learning and spiritual life. The fact that Saturn is there adds a note of seriousness and structure to your philosophical pursuits. You are not just dabbling in ideas during this period. You are integrating wisdom at a deep and lasting level. Venus joins Jupiter in Cancer from June 8th to July 4th, creating one of the most attractive and socially favorable periods of the transit. Venus in the 1st house alongside exalted Jupiter enhances charm, beauty, grace, and emotional warmth. You may feel more confident in your appearance and more comfortable socially. This is a highly supportive period for relationships, creativity, self-expression, and experiences that bring genuine joy and emotional satisfaction. From July 16th to August 17th, the Sun joins Jupiter in your 1st house, increasing confidence, visibility, authority, and leadership. Matters involving father figures, mentors, or career direction may become more important during this phase. The Sun's presence also supports recognition and a stronger sense of purpose. Mars enters Cancer on September 18th, bringing action, courage, and momentum into your 1st house. After months of growth and inner clarity, Mars pushes you to take decisive steps toward the direction Jupiter has been revealing. This final phase of the transit is highly motivating and action-oriented, encouraging you to move forward with confidence. Mars in Cancer operates in debilitation, so emotional impulsiveness and reactive behavior should be managed carefully. For Cancer, this is a transit of personal renaissance. Your life is asking to be realigned with your true purpose, and Jupiter in exaltation in your own sign is giving you the clearest path toward that realignment that you have had in 12 years. Welcome it fully. For Leo, Jupiter's transit through Cancer from June 2026 activates your 12th house, a deeply spiritual and internally transformative area of the chart. While the 12th house is often associated with expenses, endings, and isolation, it is also the house of liberation, spiritual growth, foreign lands, retreat, and inner healing. When exalted Jupiter enters this house, the focus shifts away from external recognition and toward emotional, spiritual, and psychological development. This is less about outward achievement and more about preparing yourself internally for future growth. Jupiter rules your 5th house and 8th house. The 5th house governs creativity, education, romance, children, intelligence, and past life merit, while the 8th house rules transformation, hidden resources, research, inheritance, occult knowledge, and deep emotional experiences. As Jupiter moves into your 12th house, it brings these themes into more private and introspective areas of life. Creative intelligence becomes more inward, spiritual awareness deepens, and hidden dimensions of life become more important. The 12th house is often described as the house of losses, but that framing misses a lot of its depth. Yes, the 12th house is connected to expenses and things that go away. But it is also connected to liberation, spiritual dissolution, and the kind of inner work that cannot happen in the noise of daily life. When exalted Jupiter, the most benefic planet, occupies your 12th house, you are being asked to go inward, to retreat from the surface-level distractions, and to invest in your spiritual and internal development. The results of doing this honestly and fully can be profound. The 12th house is the house of expenses, and Jupiter there will likely expand your expenses. Be aware of this. Spending on spirituality, travel, foreign-connected activities, education, or matters related to health institutions is all within scope. The key is to spend consciously and with purpose. Uncontrolled spending on comfort and luxury can genuinely create financial stress during this period, so a degree of financial discipline is important. Foreign lands and travel to distant places is a major theme of the 12th house, and Jupiter being there can genuinely expand your connection to foreign places and foreign people. You might travel internationally, relocate temporarily for work or study, form meaningful relationships with people from other cultures, or find that your income source has a foreign or remote connection. Jupiter ruling your 5th house and sitting in the 12th can also indicate someone who goes abroad for educational purposes or who creates educational content for an international audience. Since Jupiter also rules your 8th house and is sitting in the 12th, there is an interesting connection between hidden wealth and the house of dissolution. This can sometimes manifest as gaining through 12th house channels that are not obvious, such as income from abroad, gains from research or writing that are not publicly visible, or financial benefits coming through inheritance or someone else's resources. This is not guaranteed, but it is a possibility that the chart supports. The spiritual dimension of this transit is where the real treasure lies for Leo. Jupiter in the 12th house in exaltation is genuinely one of the best placements for spiritual growth and depth of inner experience. If you have any kind of meditation practice, yoga, prayer routine, or connection to a spiritual tradition, this transit is going to deepen and enrich it enormously. If you do not have any such practice, this is the time when you will feel drawn toward one naturally, without forcing it. Let that happen. Do not resist the pull toward inner life during this period. Jupiter ruling your 5th house connects children and creative intelligence to the 12th house during this transit. If you have children, they might be away from you for a period, perhaps for education or travel. Your own creativity might go through a phase where it is more internal, more gestational, not quite public-facing. This is not stagnation. It is incubation. The creative seeds planted internally during this transit often bloom in the following transit when Jupiter moves into Leo and your 1st house. Jupiter's aspects from Cancer fall on Scorpio, which is your 4th house of home and mother. This means your home life and your mother are receiving Jupiter's attentive 5th aspect. There can be some activity around home and property even during this transit, even though the main focus is the 12th house. The 7th aspect falls on Capricorn, your 6th house. Jupiter's gaze on your house of daily routine and health from the 12th house is actually helpful for managing health matters. You are more likely to seek proper medical care and approach health issues with wisdom rather than neglect or anxiety. The 9th aspect falls on Pisces, your 8th house, where Saturn is transiting. Jupiter aspecting Saturn in your 8th house is a significant combination for deep research, hidden financial matters, and transformative experiences that happen quietly but change something fundamental in your life. Venus joins Jupiter in Cancer from June 8th to July 4th, bringing softness, comfort, and emotional warmth into your 12th house experience. This is an excellent period for retreats, spiritual travel, private romance, artistic inspiration, and peaceful solitude. Quiet environments become deeply restorative, and emotional healing becomes easier during this phase. Mercury enters Cancer around June 22nd, bringing mental focus toward research, private planning, writing, and foreign-related matters. During Mercury retrograde, there may be periods of reflection, revisiting old ideas, or reevaluating plans connected to travel, spirituality, or long-term goals. From July 16th to August 17th, the Sun enters Cancer and joins Jupiter in your 12th house. Since the Sun rules your 1st house, this can create a temporary feeling of reduced visibility or withdrawal from public attention. Rather than pushing for recognition, this is a period for preparation, strategy, and behind-the-scenes work. The effort you put into internal development now will support future success. Mars enters Cancer on September 18th, bringing intensity and urgency into 12th house matters. Expenses, health issues, or foreign-related situations may require quick action. Mars in Cancer operates in debilitation, so emotional impulsiveness and reactive behavior should be managed carefully. Mars can also create restlessness, so it is important to stay calm and handle matters methodically rather than impulsively. For Leo, the core message of this transit is, retreat, invest in your inner world, manage your expenses with discipline, and allow your spiritual life to deepen in ways that will sustain you for years to come. The outward glory of Leo's 1st house Jupiter transit is coming next. First, you build the foundation in the 12th. For Virgo, Jupiter's transit through Cancer from June 2026 is going to activate your 11th house. This is one of the most practically rewarding house positions that Jupiter can occupy, and when you add the exaltation dignity of Jupiter in Cancer to this, the picture becomes even more favorable. Jupiter rules the 4th house and the 7th house for Virgo. The 4th house is home, mother, emotional security, real estate, and the roots of life. The 7th house is marriage, business partnerships, other people and one-on-one relationships, and open competitors. So Jupiter for Virgo is fundamentally a planet of family, home, and relationships. It carries emotional depth and partnership-oriented energy. When this planet moves into Cancer in your 11th house, it is taking all of that energy into the domain of gains, income, social networks, elder siblings, large organizations, and your wider ambitions and desires. The most immediate and tangible result you can expect from this transit is an expansion of your income and gains. Jupiter in the 11th house in exaltation is about as clear a signal as astrology can give you for a period of improved financial inflow. And since Jupiter rules your 7th house of business and partnerships, a significant portion of these gains is likely to come through business activities, collaborations, and the people in your professional network. Your partnerships and relationships are going to be directly contributing to your financial growth during this period. Large organizations and corporations are 11th house territory, and Jupiter there can expand your connection to big institutional structures. If you work for or with a large company, this is a favorable time for recognition, promotions, bonuses, or taking on a larger role within that structure. If you are an entrepreneur or freelancer, connections with larger organizations can open up in ways that give your business a significant boost. Do not be shy about positioning yourself for those kinds of opportunities during this period. The elder sibling connection of the 11th house is worth noting. If you have an elder sibling, this relationship can become more significant and mutually beneficial during this transit. There might be a collaboration, a shared project, or simply a deepening of emotional bonds. Jupiter ruling the 4th house and aspecting things from the 11th means that family connections in general can contribute to your gains. A family-connected business or a business built on values and traditions rooted in your upbringing is particularly favored. Social networking and community connections get a major Jupiter boost in the 11th house. You are going to naturally expand your circle of meaningful contacts during this period. The people who enter your network now are not just acquaintances. They carry real value and possibility. Be open to new connections and be willing to invest time in cultivating relationships with people who share your larger goals and values. The 11th house is also about your higher ambitions and long-term desires. What are the things you genuinely want to achieve in life beyond the immediate present? Jupiter in exaltation here is asking you to declare those desires clearly and then take steps toward them. The conditions during this transit are favorable for manifesting things that matter to you at a deep level. Do not underestimate this window by only focusing on immediate, small-scale gains. Think bigger. One of the more interesting possibilities for Virgo during this transit is relocation. Since the 11th house is the 8th house counted from the 4th house, meaning it represents transformation of home and emotional roots, there is a real possibility of a change of residence, a move to a new city or country, or a significant shift in where you call home. This is not guaranteed and depends on other chart factors, but the transit does support it as a possibility if it aligns with your overall chart and dasha period. Jupiter's aspects from Cancer during this transit are significant for Virgo. The 5th aspect falls on Scorpio, which is your 3rd house of communication, business efforts, and skills. Jupiter casting its educational and expansive gaze on your 3rd house means your skills and communication abilities are also growing during this period. New skills you develop now can directly contribute to your 11th house gains. The 7th aspect falls on Capricorn, your 5th house of education, romance, and creativity. There is a pleasant ripple effect on your creative and educational life. You might pursue higher education, engage more deeply with creative work, or experience positive developments in your romantic life as a secondary theme of this transit. The 9th aspect falls on Pisces, your 7th house, where Saturn is sitting. Jupiter aspecting your house of partnerships through its most powerful aspect, while Saturn provides structure, is a combination that speaks to serious, mature, and potentially very rewarding partnerships forming or solidifying during this period. Business partnerships built during this transit may be particularly durable and productive. Venus joining Jupiter in Cancer from June 8th to July 4th in your 11th house is a wonderful period for gains through creative work, through your social network, and through partnerships with a Venus-flavored quality. Financial gains are possible during this window, and your social life can be particularly pleasant and fruitful. Mercury joining Cancer around June 22nd brings analytical sharpness to your 11th house. This is a good time for planning your income strategy, for communicating with your network about opportunities, and for any kind of writing or content creation that can expand your reach. The Mercury retrograde may require revisiting some plans or agreements, but you will come out of it with better clarity. The Sun moving into Cancer from July 16th to August 17th brings a period of public recognition connected to your gains and social standing. Your achievements may become more visible during this window. It is a good time to put yourself forward in your field and let people know about your work and capabilities. Mars entering Cancer on September 18th in your 11th house brings energy and drive to your ambitions for the final stretch of this transit. This is a time of taking decisive action on the goals and opportunities that have been developing throughout the transit. Mars in Cancer operates in debilitation, so emotional impulsiveness and reactive behavior should be managed carefully. Be assertive about your desires and do not hold back from pursuing what you genuinely want. For Virgo, this Jupiter transit is a genuine season of gain and growth. Your income, social network, elder sibling relationships, and larger ambitions are all under Jupiter's expansive and benevolent eye. Lean into it. For Libra, Jupiter transiting through Cancer from June 2026 is landing in your 10th house. The 10th house is the highest point of your chart. It is the house of career, public reputation, authority, status, your father, your contribution to society, and the recognition you receive for your work in the world. When exalted Jupiter sits in this house for several months, it is essentially holding a spotlight over your professional life and public standing. Jupiter rules the 3rd house and the 6th house for Libra. The 3rd house covers communication, business efforts, skills, and courage. The 6th house covers daily work routines, service, health management, debts, and dealing with obstacles. So Jupiter for Libra is a planet of effort, service, and practical skill. When it sits in your 10th house in Cancer, the message is clear: your efforts and your skills are being recognized at the highest professional level. Let us start with career recognition because this is the most obvious and exciting result of this transit. Jupiter in the 10th house in exaltation is associated with public acknowledgement, professional advancement, and the kind of recognition that your work deserves. If you have been working hard and wondering when the acknowledgement is coming, this is the period where it can arrive. Promotions, increased authority, additional responsibilities with corresponding rewards, better job titles, and public professional recognition are all within scope. The exaltation of Jupiter here suggests that these gains are not just minor increments. They can be genuinely substantial. Your connection to government, authority figures, and people in positions of power is also highlighted during this transit. Deals with government bodies, contracts with large institutions, or simply being noticed by someone in authority who can advance your career are all possibilities that become more real during this period. Jupiter in the 10th house traditionally indicates favor from authority and governments. Since Jupiter rules your 3rd house and is now sitting in your 10th, the connection between your communication, your skills, and your career success is very direct. You are going to be seen as an authority in your field, someone whose words and knowledge carry real weight. Being in any kind of knowledge-sharing role, whether as a teacher, consultant, writer, speaker, or advisor, is particularly favored. If you are considering positioning yourself as an expert or thought leader in your area of work, this is the transit to do it. People will be receptive to your ideas and your guidance in ways that might surprise you. The 6th house rulership of Jupiter connecting to the 10th house also suggests that your career can involve a service orientation or that your work ethic and dedication to daily discipline is a significant factor in your success during this transit. This is not a transit where things fall into your lap without effort. Rather, your consistent, disciplined effort is precisely what Jupiter is rewarding at the 10th house level. There is a cautionary note here, however. Jupiter also ruling the 6th house and sitting in the 10th means that you should be watchful about your father's health during this period. The 6th house is connected to health issues and the 10th house is connected to the father figure. If your father is older or has existing health concerns, keep a close eye on this and do not delay any necessary medical attention. Jupiter's 5th aspect from Cancer falls on Scorpio, which is your 2nd house of wealth and family. This is a strong secondary benefit of this transit. Jupiter aspecting your 2nd house means your finances are also expanding during this period of career growth. Income from your career is increasing, and family life is receiving positive attention. Your speech and communication style are also highlighted, which feeds back into your public authority. The 7th aspect falls on Capricorn, your 4th house of home and mother. There is some movement around home and property matters during this transit, though the primary focus is career. You might make improvements to your home, have meaningful family gatherings, or see your mother's situation improve in some way. The 9th aspect falls on Pisces, your 6th house, where Saturn is transiting. Jupiter aspecting its own 6th house of daily work and service with its 9th and most powerful aspect, while Saturn is providing structure and discipline, is a combination that speaks to mastery of your craft through sustained effort. What you have been working on daily, consistently, and with patience is now getting recognized at the 10th house level. Venus in Cancer alongside Jupiter from June 8th to July 4th adds a layer of charm and social grace to your public persona during this window. You may be invited to events or social gatherings connected to your professional life. Your public image is particularly appealing during these weeks, and this is an ideal window for any public-facing career moves, launching a professional profile, or attending networking events that have genuine career significance. Mercury joining Cancer around June 22nd brings mental agility to your 10th house. This is an excellent window for any career-related writing, planning, presenting, or communicating. Important career conversations or negotiations are well supported during this time. The Mercury retrograde element just means some plans might need revision, but you will refine them into something better. The Sun in Cancer from July 16th to August 17th is particularly significant for Libra because the Sun in your 10th house is one of the strongest career transit combinations. Combined with exalted Jupiter, this period from mid-July to mid-August could be the peak window of career opportunity and recognition during this entire transit. Be fully present and active in your professional life during this window. Mars entering Cancer on September 18th in your 10th house brings assertiveness and drive to your career for the final stretch. You will feel more motivated to pursue ambitions and less willing to accept situations that do not serve your professional growth. Mars in Cancer operates in debilitation, so emotional impulsiveness and reactive behavior should be managed carefully. Use this energy assertively and constructively, and it can open doors in the final weeks of this transit. For Libra, this is a period of professional rise and public recognition. Your knowledge, skills, and dedicated effort are being amplified by Jupiter's most powerful dignity right at the top of your chart. Embrace the visibility, and do not shrink from the recognition you have earned. For Scorpio, Jupiter moving through Cancer from June 2026 is going to activate your 9th house. The 9th house is one of the most auspicious houses in the entire chart. It is the house of higher wisdom, your guru or teacher, your belief system, long-distance travel, your father, religious and philosophical inclinations, and the deep sense of meaning and purpose you carry in your life. And Jupiter, which is the natural karaka, the significator, of all of these 9th house themes, is now sitting in this house in its highest dignity. This is a genuinely powerful placement. Jupiter rules the 2nd house and the 5th house for Scorpio. The 2nd house represents wealth, family values, speech, and financial accumulation. The 5th house represents education, creativity, intelligence, past life blessings, children, and romance. So Jupiter for Scorpio is a planet of deep education, inherited wisdom, creative intelligence, and financial values. When this Jupiter lands in your 9th house in Cancer in exaltation, it is essentially creating a teacher, a philosopher, a seeker of deeper meaning out of you during this period. The most profound possibility of this transit is the encounter with a genuine guru or mentor. For Scorpio, Jupiter being both the 5th house lord of intellect and the planet occupying the 9th house of teachers creates an almost magnetic pull toward finding a teacher or wisdom tradition that genuinely resonates with your soul. This guru or mentor might appear in a traditional form, a spiritual teacher, a religious leader, or a philosophy professor. Or they might appear as a business mentor, a senior in your field, or even a text or body of knowledge that becomes transformative for you. The form matters less than the impact. Something or someone during this period is going to reshape how you understand life at a fundamental level. Long-distance travel is another very real possibility. The 9th house governs travel across long distances, often with a pilgrimage-like or meaningful quality. You might visit a place that has deep spiritual or philosophical significance. You might travel for educational purposes, to attend a course, a seminar, or a learning institution that is not in your immediate environment. You might also travel to meet someone important to your intellectual or spiritual development. These journeys, however long or short, will carry a quality of expansion and purpose that leaves a lasting impression. Your father or father figures in your life are also 9th house territory, and Jupiter being here can bring meaningful interactions with your father. The relationship might deepen, your father might offer important guidance, or a father figure might enter your life during this period who plays a significant mentoring role. If your father is no longer in your life, there might be a connection to his legacy or lineage that becomes meaningful during this transit. Now for Scorpio, there is a professional caveat to acknowledge. The 9th house is the 12th house counted from the 10th house, which means it is the house of loss or dissolution of career matters. Jupiter sitting here can sometimes bring a sense of detachment from career ambitions or a period where career matters feel less rewarding or less clear. Some Scorpio people might experience a phase of professional uncertainty, or a feeling that their current career path is not aligned with their deeper values. This is actually Jupiter's way of redirecting you toward work that is more meaningful. It might be uncomfortable in the short term, but it is pointing towards something better. Since Jupiter rules your 5th house of education, you are extremely well positioned to engage in any form of higher education during this period. Research degrees, advanced certifications, study of ancient texts, philosophy, astrology, or any esoteric field of knowledge are all highly favored. The combination of 5th house Jupiter in the 9th house is essentially the combination of a serious scholar and seeker of wisdom. This is a period where your intellectual and philosophical development can make genuine leaps forward. Jupiter's aspects from Cancer strongly influence your personality, communication, and education. Its 5th aspect falls on Scorpio, your 1st house, bringing wisdom, confidence, optimism, and personal growth. This aspect improves your outlook, personality, and ability to guide others. You may appear more knowledgeable, mature, and spiritually aware during this transit. Its 7th aspect falls on Capricorn, your 3rd house of communication, courage, skills, writing, and business efforts. This enhances the depth and wisdom in your speech and ideas. Your communication becomes more influential, making this an excellent period for teaching, writing, publishing, business promotion, or sharing knowledge. Its 9th aspect falls on Pisces, your 5th house, where Saturn is already transiting. Jupiter aspecting its own 5th house while Saturn adds discipline creates a powerful combination for higher learning, creativity, research, education, children, and intellectual mastery. This is one of the strongest combinations for mastering a difficult subject or pursuing serious spiritual and philosophical study. Venus joins Jupiter in Cancer from June 8th to July 4th, creating a beautiful and enriching period for travel, learning, cultural experiences, and relationships connected to shared values or philosophical interests. Romantic opportunities may arise through travel, education, or spiritual environments. This combination also enhances appreciation for beauty, art, and meaningful experiences. Mercury enters Cancer around June 22nd and joins Jupiter in your 9th house, making this an excellent period for writing, studying, teaching, publishing, or engaging deeply with philosophical and spiritual subjects. Mercury retrograde during this period may require revisiting plans, refining ideas, or reconsidering educational or travel-related decisions, but this ultimately improves clarity. From July 16th to August 17th, the Sun joins Jupiter in your 9th house, bringing confidence, visibility, and conviction to your beliefs and personal philosophy. Interactions with father figures, mentors, or authority figures become more significant. This period may also increase recognition for your knowledge, teaching, or intellectual depth. Mars enters Cancer on September 18th, adding intensity, action, and determination to your 9th house matters. You may feel strongly motivated to pursue education, travel, spiritual practices, or philosophical goals. Mars in Cancer operates in debilitation, so emotional impulsiveness and reactive behavior should be managed carefully. Mars provides courage and initiative, but it can also make you overly rigid or forceful in your beliefs. Maintaining openness to other perspectives is important during this phase. For Scorpio, this transit of Jupiter in Cancer is a season of wisdom, learning, and depth of meaning. Your soul is being fed during this period, and the nourishment it receives now will sustain your intellectual and spiritual development for years to come. For Sagittarius, Jupiter transiting Cancer from June 2026 is landing in your 8th house. This house placement tends to make people nervous, and it is true that the 8th house is associated with challenges, sudden events, and major transformations. But Jupiter is the natural ruling planet of Sagittarius, and it is an exaltation in Cancer, which means that even in this complex house, the overall direction of this transit is toward transformation for the better rather than toward collapse. Jupiter rules the 1st house and the 4th house for Sagittarius. The 1st house is yourself, your life path, your identity, your physical body, and your approach to the world. The 4th house is home, mother, emotional security, and real estate. So Jupiter for Sagittarius is a deeply personal planet. It represents your life mission and your emotional roots. When this planet enters your 8th house in Cancer, it is asking you to go through a significant metamorphosis, a shedding of old identities, old emotional patterns, and old ways of living, in exchange for something that serves your deeper purpose far better. The 8th house is the house of sudden events, and Sagittarius people need to prepare for the unexpected during this transit. These unexpected events are not necessarily catastrophic. With Jupiter exalted here, many of them are going to be positive surprises. A sudden opportunity, an unexpected inheritance, a windfall from a hidden source, or an unforeseen career change that turns out to be exactly the right move. The key with the 8th house and Jupiter together is to stay flexible, stay open, and not grip your current circumstances too tightly, because Jupiter wants to replace what you have with something significantly better. Career transformation is one of the biggest themes here. Because the 1st house lord, which is your ruler and identity, is going into the 8th house of major change, there is a very real possibility that your career direction shifts significantly during this transit. Sagittarius people who have been feeling out of alignment with their work are particularly likely to experience a turn during this period. Some of you may leave a stable job to pursue something more meaningful. Others might experience an unexpected change in their employment situation that initially feels destabilizing but ultimately leads to a better expression of your talents. The 8th house also governs occult sciences, hidden knowledge, research, and subjects that require deep investigation. Jupiter here can strongly increase interest in astrology, spirituality, psychology, healing, finance, tantra, research, or investigative work. You may feel naturally drawn toward understanding what exists beneath the surface of life. These interests are not random. They are part of your personal evolution during this period. Financially, the 8th house relates to shared resources, inheritance, investments, insurance, taxes, and gains through other people's money. Exalted Jupiter here can bring benefits through partnerships, joint finances, business deals, inheritance, or investment-related opportunities. This is not primarily a transit of simple salary growth but of wealth through deeper or more complex financial channels. Strategic financial planning becomes important. The transformative aspect of Jupiter in the 8th house is worth sitting with. Transformation is rarely entirely comfortable, even when it is beneficial. You are going to encounter situations during this transit that challenge your identity, your sense of security, and your emotional foundations. And precisely because Jupiter is your ruler and is exalted, you have the inner resources, the wisdom, and the resilience to move through these transformations and come out significantly better on the other side. Do not resist the changes that Jupiter is bringing. Trust that the exaltation of your ruling planet is protecting you even when things feel uncertain. Since Jupiter rules the 4th house of home and mother, the 8th house placement can also bring some transformation in your home life. This might mean a change of residence, a significant renovation, a shift in your relationship with your mother, or a change in your emotional foundations. Again, the direction of these changes is ultimately towards something more secure and nourishing, even if the transition period involves some upheaval. Jupiter's aspects from Cancer are highly significant. Its 5th aspect falls on Scorpio, your 12th house, enhancing spirituality, meditation, foreign connections, retreats, and inner healing. This creates strong support for spiritual practices, introspection, and behind-the-scenes work. You may feel more drawn towards solitude, healing environments, or spiritual learning during this transit. Its 7th aspect falls on Capricorn, your 2nd house of wealth, family, speech, and savings. This creates a direct connection between hidden wealth, shared resources, and financial accumulation. Unexpected gains, family financial improvements, or stronger long-term financial planning may emerge. Your speech also becomes more thoughtful and impactful. Its 9th aspect falls on Pisces, your 4th house, where Saturn is already transiting. Jupiter aspecting its own 4th house while Saturn adds structure creates an important process of emotional stabilization and maturity. Home life, emotional security, and property matters may undergo restructuring, but the outcome is likely to be more stable and lasting. Venus joins Jupiter in Cancer from June 8th to July 4th, softening the intensity of the 8th house. This period supports emotional intimacy, healing in relationships, shared financial matters, and deeper emotional connection. Romantic experiences may feel especially intense and transformative during this phase. Financial discussions or partnership-related investments are also favored. Mercury enters Cancer around June 22nd, making this an excellent period for research, financial planning, investigative work, therapy, writing, or studying hidden subjects. Mercury retrograde during this period may bring old information, financial matters, or emotional patterns back for review and deeper understanding. From July 16th to August 17th, the Sun joins Jupiter in your 8th house, bringing visibility to transformation already taking place internally. Authority figures may recognize hidden skills or talents, and important conversations about career, finances, or life direction may occur during this time. Mars enters Cancer on September 18th, intensifying the final phase of this transit. Mars and Jupiter together in the 8th house create strong drive, urgency, and determination regarding finances, partnerships, and major life decisions. This combination can also increase impulsiveness, emotional intensity, or conflicts around shared resources. Mars in Cancer operates in debilitation, so emotional impulsiveness and reactive behavior should be managed carefully. Physical safety and careful decision-making become especially important during this period. For Sagittarius, this is a transit of deep change, hidden wealth, and spiritual depth. Trust the process, stay open to the unexpected, and allow Jupiter's exalted wisdom to guide your transformation towards something far more aligned with your true purpose. For Capricorn, Jupiter in Cancer from June 2026 is going to activate your 7th house. Jupiter in the 7th house in exaltation is one of the cleaner and more enjoyable transits in terms of its themes and results. The 7th house is the house of relationships, marriage, business partnerships, other people in general, and the way you interact with the world on a one-on-one basis. When expansive, exalted Jupiter occupies this space, it is expanding your ability to connect, partner, and thrive through your relationships. Jupiter rules the 12th house and the 3rd house for Capricorn. The 12th house is spirituality, foreign connections, hidden matters, expenses, and liberation. The 3rd house is communication, business efforts, skills, travels, and courage. So Jupiter for Capricorn carries energy of communication, foreign connections, and spiritual depth. When this planet enters your 7th house and sits in Cancer in exaltation, it is bringing all of that into the domain of your partnerships and relationships. Jupiter in the 7th house in exaltation is genuinely one of the favorable indicators for meaningful relationship developments. For those who are single and open to partnership, this transit can bring someone significant into your life. And because Jupiter is exalted here, this is not just any encounter. The person you meet during this period is likely to be someone of substance, wisdom, and genuine character. There is a quality and depth to relationships that begin during a Jupiter in the 7th transit that tends to last beyond the transit itself. For those already in committed relationships or marriage, Jupiter in the 7th house supports growth, understanding, and emotional harmony. Relationships can deepen through shared goals, mutual support, family planning, or major decisions connected to finances or future stability. This transit encourages cooperation and helps strengthen the foundation of long-term partnerships. Business partnerships are equally important during this transit. Jupiter ruling your 3rd house and occupying the 7th creates a strong bridge between communication skills and collaborative success. New business alliances may form, and existing partnerships can become more productive and profitable. Contracts and agreements signed during this period are more likely to be fair, beneficial, and long-lasting. This is especially supportive for consulting, coaching, education, counseling, or communication-based businesses where collaboration plays a central role. The public image aspect of the 7th house is also worth exploring. The 7th house is not just about individual relationships. It is about how you present yourself to the world and what the world reflects back to you. Jupiter in your 7th house in exaltation means your public image is infused with Jupiter's qualities. People will perceive you as wise, trustworthy, knowledgeable, and generous. You may be seen as a guide, counselor, or teacher by people in your social and professional circle. This enhanced public image can open doors in ways that are hard to manufacture deliberately. It happens organically because of the energy you are carrying during this transit. Since Jupiter rules your 12th house and is sitting in the 7th, there is an interesting foreign element to many of the relationship and partnership developments during this period. Your partner might be from a different cultural background. A business partnership might have an international dimension. Connections with people from foreign lands or with those who work in foreign or remote contexts are particularly highlighted. Some Capricorn people might relocate to be closer to a partner or move because of a business partnership that has an international reach. Knowledge sharing as a business model is something Jupiter in the 7th house supports beautifully for Capricorn during this transit. Teaching, consulting, counseling, or coaching through a business partnership or collaborative arrangement is particularly favored. You do not have to do everything alone during this period. The most productive and rewarding Work is done through collaboration and partnership. Jupiter's aspects from Cancer further strengthen important life areas. Its fifth aspect falls on Scorpio, your 11th house of gains, income, friendships, and social networks. This is highly favorable for financial growth through partnerships, clients, social connections, and collaborative efforts. Your network becomes more supportive, and gains through teamwork or public relationships increase significantly. Its seventh aspect falls on Capricorn, your first house, directly influencing your identity, confidence, health, and personal growth. Jupiter's aspect on your first house increases optimism, wisdom, maturity, and presence. You may feel more aligned with yourself, more socially confident, and more capable of handling responsibilities with balance and clarity. Its ninth aspect falls on Pisces, your third house, where Saturn is already transiting. Jupiter aspecting your communication and business house while Saturn provides discipline creates a powerful combination for skill development, entrepreneurship, writing, teaching, marketing, and strategic communication. Saturn adds structure and seriousness, while Jupiter adds wisdom and expansion. This can significantly strengthen your business abilities and communication style over time. Venus joins Jupiter in Cancer from June 8th to July 4th, creating one of the most favorable periods for relationships and social interaction. Since Venus rules your 5th house of romance and 10th house of career, this combination can bring romantic developments connected to career or professional growth through social and relationship networks. This is an excellent period for dating, collaboration, public networking, and strengthening emotional bonds. Mercury enters Cancer around June 22nd, bringing important discussions, negotiations, contracts, and communication into focus within relationships and partnerships. Mercury retrograde may cause some agreements or conversations to require revision, but this ultimately helps create more thoughtful and stable decisions. From July 16th to August 17th, the Sun joins Jupiter in your 7th house, bringing visibility, clarity, and confidence into relationship and partnership matters. Significant developments in marriage, business agreements, or public recognition may occur during this phase. The Sun also increases leadership qualities in collaborative settings. Mars enters Cancer on September 18th, intensifying the final phase of this transit. Mars brings passion, assertiveness, and momentum into partnerships. This can help move important relationship or business decisions forward, but it may also create unnecessary arguments or ego clashes if not managed carefully. The key is to channel Mars into productive collaboration rather than conflict. Mars in Cancer operates in debilitation, so emotional impulsiveness and reactive behavior should be managed carefully. For Capricorn, this transit of Jupiter in Cancer is a season of expansion through relationship. Whether through marriage, business partnerships, public recognition, or collaborative knowledge-sharing ventures, this is a period where your growth comes through others rather than through solitary effort. Open yourself to partnership and connection, and Jupiter in its full exalted glory will bring genuinely rewarding results. For Aquarius, Jupiter transiting Cancer from June 2026 is landing in your 6th house. The 6th house is associated with daily work routines, health, debts, conflicts, obstacles, enemies, and service to others. It is not typically considered one of the more glamorous or easy house placements for Jupiter. But let us be clear about something important here. Jupiter is an exaltation in Cancer, and an exalted planet in the 6th house does not simply create difficulties. It creates the capacity to overcome difficulties and serve others with wisdom and genuine capability. Jupiter rules the 11th house and the 2nd house for Aquarius. The 11th house is gains, income, desires, elder siblings, social networks, and large organizations. The 2nd house is wealth, family, speech, and financial accumulation. So Jupiter for Aquarius is fundamentally a planet of wealth and income. When this planet moves into your 6th house, it is placing your wealth and gains energy into the domain of daily work, service, and dealing with obstacles. The message here is that your financial growth during this period comes through genuine service, through dealing with the hard stuff, and through mastering the practical realities of daily work life. Career and daily work life is going to be a dominant theme during this transit. Jupiter expanding things in your 6th house means your responsibilities at work are likely to increase. You may take on more work, more complex challenges, and more significant obligations than you have been dealing with recently. For many Aquarius people, this will feel busy and demanding. But Jupiter being exalted means you have the wisdom, the optimism, and the capacity to handle what comes. The key insight is that the work you put in during this period is laying the foundation for significant gains and income that manifest especially when Jupiter moves forward. Health is another major focus. Jupiter in the 6th house can increase awareness about physical well-being and encourage healthier routines. Many Aquarius individuals may begin focusing more seriously on diet, exercise, preventive care, or medical treatment. At the same time, Jupiter's expansive nature can also amplify pre-existing health tendencies if ignored. Issues connected to excess, such as weight gain, sugar imbalance, cholesterol, or liver-related concerns, should be monitored carefully. Moderation and consistency are important throughout this transit. Service to others is where exalted Jupiter in the 6th house genuinely shines. The combination of Jupiter's wisdom and the 6th house's service orientation creates someone who can genuinely help people navigate complex situations. If you work in medicine, law, counseling, social work, or any field where you are helping others manage their challenges, this transit is going to be a period of significant professional capability and contribution. Your knowledge is being applied in the service of others, and that is exactly the highest expression of exalted Jupiter in the 6th house. Legal and financial matters related to debts and loans are also 6th house territory. Some Aquarius people might take on significant loans during this period, perhaps for business investment, real estate, or education. Jupiter being exalted suggests that these debts, while real, can be managed and ultimately serve a productive purpose. Just be careful not to overextend yourself financially given that Jupiter also rules your 2nd house of wealth. Balance your ambition with practicality. Relationships may face some pressure during this transit because the 6th house is the 12th house from the 7th house of marriage and partnerships. Work responsibilities, stress, travel, or demanding routines may create emotional or physical distance within relationships. Minor conflicts can develop if communication is neglected. Maintaining patience, balance, and realistic expectations becomes important in both personal and business partnerships. Jupiter's aspects from Cancer are highly significant. Its 5th aspect falls on Scorpio, your 10th house of career, reputation, and public image. This is one of the strongest positive outcomes of the transit. Even though the 6th house can feel demanding, Jupiter's aspect on the 10th house supports career growth, recognition, and professional respect. Your work ethic, expertise, and problem-solving abilities become more visible to others, improving your reputation and authority. Its 7th aspect falls on Capricorn, your 12th house, strengthening themes connected to spirituality, foreign lands, retreats, hospitals, and behind-the-scenes work. Some of your professional activities may involve remote work, foreign clients, or international connections. This aspect also highlights the importance of spiritual practices and emotional rest in maintaining balance during this busy period. Its 9th aspect falls on Pisces, your 2nd house of wealth and family, where Saturn is already transiting. Jupiter aspecting its own house while Saturn provides discipline creates a powerful combination for building long-term financial stability. Wealth growth is possible, but it comes through consistent effort, careful planning, and patience rather than sudden gains. Family responsibilities may also become more structured and practical during this period. Venus joins Jupiter in Cancer from June 8th to July 4th, softening the intensity of the 6th house. This period improves workplace harmony, relationships with coworkers, and the overall quality of your daily routines. It is also an excellent time to improve your health habits, redesign your workspace, or create more balance between work and comfort. Mercury enters Cancer around June 22nd, making this a productive period for analytical thinking, detailed planning, research, paperwork, contracts, and communication related to work or health matters. Mercury retrograde may cause delays or revisions in work agreements, schedules, or professional communication, but these adjustments ultimately improve clarity and efficiency. From July 16th to August 17th, the Sun joins Jupiter in your 6th house, increasing focus on work responsibilities, health awareness, and service. Recognition for your dedication and effort may come during this phase. It is also a good period to address lingering health concerns proactively. Mars enters Cancer on September 18th, bringing intensity, energy, and urgency into your 6th house. Work life can become highly demanding, and conflicts with coworkers or authority figures are possible if frustration is not managed carefully. Mars in Cancer operates in debilitation, so emotional impulsiveness and reactive behavior should be managed carefully. Mars in the 6th house is also excellent for defeating competition, solving problems, and taking decisive action. Channeling this energy into productivity rather than confrontation is essential. For Aquarius, this is a transit of dedicated service, practical growth, and health-conscious living. The gains are real, but they come through consistent effort, wisdom in handling obstacles, and a genuine commitment to serving others through your knowledge and capabilities. For Pisces, Jupiter's transit through Cancer from June 2026 is going to activate your 5th house. The 5th house is one of the most joyful and creatively rich houses in the entire chart. It represents education, creativity, intelligence, children, romance, speculation, past life merit, and the deep reservoir of talent and happiness that you carry within you. When exalted Jupiter, the most expansive and benefic planet, occupies this house, the result is an expansion of everything the 5th house represents, and for a Pisces individuals whose chart ruler is Jupiter itself, this is a deeply meaningful transit. Jupiter rules the 10th house and the 1st house for Pisces. The 10th house is your career, reputation, authority, and your contribution to society. The 1st house is yourself, your identity, your life path, and your personal expression in the world. So Jupiter for Pisces is a planet that is entirely central to your identity and career. When this Jupiter moves into Cancer in your 5th house, it is creating a connection between your sense of self, your career, and the creative and educational domain of the 5th house. This is a transit of enormous personal significance. Education and learning are going to be central themes of your life during this period. Whether you are pursuing formal education, self-directed learning, or diving deeply into a subject that you are passionate about, this is one of the most favorable periods for intellectual and educational development that you can experience. Jupiter in the 5th house in exaltation is the placement of someone who is genuinely in love with learning and whose capacity to absorb, integrate, and express knowledge is at its peak. If there is a course, a degree, a skill, or a knowledge domain that you have been wanting to invest in seriously, this is the transit to do it. Since Jupiter rules your 10th house of career and is sitting in your 5th house of education and creativity, there is a very direct and powerful link between your learning and your career during this transit. What you invest in learning now is going to serve your career in very concrete ways in the months and years ahead. For Pisces, this is not just about abstract knowledge acquisition. This is about building the intellectual and creative foundation of your career's next chapter. Romance is another major area highlighted by this transit. Exalted Jupiter in the 5th house is highly favorable for love, emotional warmth, and meaningful relationship developments. Single Pisces individuals may meet someone important during this time, often through education, creative environments, or shared intellectual interests. Existing relationships can experience renewed joy, emotional closeness, and long-term planning. Children are a 5th house matter, and for Pisces people who are wanting to have children, or who are already parents, Jupiter in the 5th house is bringing that area of life into focus. For those trying to conceive, this is one of the more supportive planetary periods in terms of 5th house energy. For those who already have children, your relationship with your children can deepen and become more joyful during this period. You may also find yourself investing more in your children's education and development. Creative expression is one of the greatest gifts of this transit. Whether your creativity emerges through writing, music, art, teaching, content creation, design, performance, or spiritual work, Jupiter expands your ability to create something meaningful and impactful. Your work carries more wisdom, emotional depth, and authenticity. This is an excellent period to launch creative projects, build a personal platform, or share your talents publicly. At the same time, some career transformation is possible. Since the 5th house is the 8th house from the 10th house of career, certain Pisces individuals may experience changes in professional direction, leadership roles, or public responsibilities. A career path may evolve into something more aligned with your creativity and authentic interests. Although these changes may initially feel uncertain, Jupiter's exaltation suggests they ultimately guide you toward greater fulfillment and purpose. Jupiter's aspects from Cancer are extremely important. Its 5th aspect falls on Scorpio, your 9th house of higher wisdom, spirituality, teachers, and long-distance travel. This creates a powerful connection between education and spiritual growth. Teachers, mentors, or meaningful philosophical influences may enter your life. Long-distance travel connected to education, spirituality, or personal development is strongly supported. Its 7th aspect falls on Capricorn, your 11th house of gains, income, social networks, and ambitions. This is highly favorable for financial growth through creativity, education, social influence, or intellectual work. Income can increase through teaching, creative expression, audience building, or network-related opportunities. Your talents and passions become more connected to financial success. Its ninth aspect falls on Pisces, your first house, directly strengthening your personality, confidence, physical vitality, and life direction. Jupiter's most powerful aspect returning to your first house creates a deep sense of alignment with your authentic self. You may feel more optimistic, purposeful, spiritually connected, and emotionally clear during this transit. Venus joins Jupiter in Cancer from June 8th to July 4th, creating one of the most beautiful phases of the transit for love, creativity, and artistic expression. This is an ideal period for romance, creative launches, public engagement, and emotionally fulfilling experiences. Relationships feel warmer and more joyful, while creative inspiration flows naturally. Mercury enters Cancer around June 22nd, bringing intellectual sharpness into education, writing, communication, research, and creative planning. Mercury retrograde may cause some creative projects or educational plans to require revision, but this ultimately improves quality and clarity. From July 16th to August 17th, the Sun joins Jupiter in your fifth house, increasing confidence, visibility, and recognition. Your creative or intellectual work may receive public attention during this period. This is a strong time for leadership in creative, educational, or public-facing roles. Mars enters Cancer on September 18th, bringing energy, ambition, and passion into your creative and romantic life. Motivation becomes stronger, and you may push aggressively toward creative goals or personal desires. Mars can also increase impulsiveness in romance or competition, so emotional balance is important. Mars in Cancer operates in debilitation, so emotional impulsiveness and reactive behavior should be managed carefully. When directed properly, this energy can help you complete major projects and take bold action on your goals. For Pisces, Jupiter in Cancer is a season of creative flourishing, educational depth, romantic possibility, and a return to your most authentic self. It is one of the more beautiful transit periods your sign can experience, and it deserves to be met with full presence and genuine enthusiasm. As we conclude this episode, please keep in mind that these insights are based on the sidereal zodiac system used in Vedic astrology, which differs from the tropical system by approximately 24 degrees. These are general predictions. The real impact depends on your dasha cycles and your individual birth chart. For a personalized analysis or consultation, feel free to reach out. If you found this video valuable, please like, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And now, you can also hype this video to boost it within the community. Your support helps this knowledge reach more people who may benefit. Thank you for watching. Stay aware, keep learning, and keep shining bright.